Hi, welcome to another edition of Razor's Edge for Rookies. My name is Reese Williams. Today I'm going to show you some tips in using labels in the Razor's Edge. And for this demonstration, I'm going to assume that you've already learned the mail module. I'm not going to teach you everything from scratch. I'm just going to teach you a few nifty little tricks that you might not have known about. So to start with, let's talk about the type of labels that you probably use. Most people, organizations are using something equivalent to an Avery 5160, which when you run it, you'll see that the labels are 3 across, 10 down. And this is a very common label. Most organizations have these in sheets. And the problem comes when you use a portion of a sheet and you don't want to waste the rest. Well, Razor's Edge has a very nifty trick that you can change the starting position of where you're going to print a label. So if you've used a portion of a page, you can actually start here where it says start printing in row, and you can identify what row you want to start in and what column. So in the event that you've used a portion and you want to start where the remaining labels are, this is one nifty way to get to it. Okay, so another thing I wanted to share is a common problem I see when it comes to printing an actual label. Often when you're printing to a sheet of labels, sometimes the text on the label will be a little too close to the left edge of a label or too close to the top. The actual text in a label should have enough space. You should see a little on the left and a little on the top. And sometimes, for whatever reason, either the printer or the alignment of the paper, sometimes it just causes it to be too close, and it comes away looking as an unattractive label. Well, in the Razor's Edge, you can adjust this by going to the 8th tab where it says Format. And you'll notice that there's a section here where it says skip blank lines before printing the first line and blank spaces before each line. So if, for instance, it was butting up to the left, you might want to include a space or even 2 spaces before each line. Or you can skip 1 line before the first line. And what will happen when you preview it, now you can't see it on the preview itself unless you're printing it, but the text itself would move in reference to the label. And that way you can sort of tweak your system to get it to fit just right. The last tip what I want to cover is what happens when an address doesn't quite fit on a label. Now you'll notice that depending on the label size, some addresses may go actually longer than the label can allow. And what Razor's Edge has built into that is what's called a truncation report. So from the 8th tab, you'll notice that the 3rd option here is called truncation reports. And if you check this box here, it'll actually look through the list that it's about to generate labels for and tell you which of them will not be able to fit on the current label you've selected. So when you preview it, you'll notice that after the labels come up, you'll have a second report, and this is called a truncation report, and it'll list all the different records that for whatever reason can't show. And if you take a look to the left, you'll see what in essence it will try to do. So in this case, the record showing Charles Labrecque, it has his title in his label, which is Vice President of Human Resources, but it would truncate the label down to just removing it so it would fit. Now in the event that for whatever reasons you needed to have this group printed on a separate label, you have the ability of saving this as a separate query when you do your labels. So for instance, on the time I run the label, if I found any truncations, I could do this, create an exception query and exclude the record from the label run. What would happen is it would generate a separate query for just the records that needed a bigger label, and for those you can print on either a larger label or directly onto an envelope. Well, I hope that helped you in your day-to-day work with labels. My name is Reese Williams. Again, thank you for watching and have a great day.